Hey, it's day 45 of Broilers here at Twin Oaks Farm in rural Southeast Ohio, USA, and we are on processing day, last day of production for this flock. We are in the meat bird production barn, and we're loading chickens to take to a processor, to a USDA inspected processor. So we're putting 9 chickens in each of these crates, and it just kind of depends on how the chickens react, how smoothly the process goes, but we try to stay calm. We try to keep count of how many are in a crate, and we have 25 of these crates that supposed to hold 8 chickens apiece. We find that we can put 9 of these broiler chickens apiece in them, and they can fit in there and they can set securely. So that's what we go and do. But we've actually loaded all of the other crates. We're down to this last one. So all the chickens that are going to fit in crates are basically loaded. They've just got a couple more to put into this crate. And we're putting the crates into a livestock trailer that we're hauling behind a pickup truck. So the birds that are not fitting into a crate, is that 9? So that's the last one going in that crate. And so the lid on top just closes like that. So the rest of the birds that are not fitting inside a crate, we're actually going to continue to manually, calmly, and gently catch by hand one at a time, and we'll walk them one at a time out the doors of the barn to a livestock trailer that we have sitting there, and they will be loaded into the front of a trailer. So that's our oldest son. That was a great example of a calm, controlled catch of a chicken, and a good example of holding it safely and securely. He has the wings kind of pinned down at the side of the bird to prevent them from flapping. We don't want wing flapping because that actually can beat up the breast meat on the finished chicken. So our youngest son there is catching one. He's doing a good, calm, controlled job catching the bird, keeping him calm. I've noticed amongst the 5 of us, some of us hold them the way you see our youngest son there, and some of us hold them actually with the bird turned facing the other way. So that's just a matter of personal preference and what works for the handler. But these birds are all used to the 5 of us being in the meat bird production barn and being around them. They would actually be capable of recognizing our faces and distinguishing us from each other. Typically when poultry chores are being done, there might just be a couple of us in the barn at one time, but it really works out great being able to have the 5 of us all working together when it's time to load chickens, because like when we did these crates, it's nice to have several people actually catching chickens to bring to the crates and put in, and then it's also nice to have somebody here at the crates just tending the crate and helping keep the birds settled and getting them setting down into the crate, and also having a counter. It's very important that we have an accurate count of our chickens. When we get to the processor, we will tell them the number of chickens that we brought in. That's one of the first things they ask us. And we'll also tell them how we want our order done at the processing house. And so that's also dependent on the number of chickens that we bring. And basically, we do have options at the processing house as far as how to have the birds processed and prepared. So we can select whole chickens left whole and whole chickens cut into 8 pieces, or boneless, skinless chicken breast. And those 3 categories of numbers is got to equal the number of chickens that we brought in. So whole chickens left whole chickens processed into, and so that was a good response from our youngest son catching that chicken. It started some wing flapping. He set it back down on the flooring and bedding material and gave it a moment to get calm again, and then proceeded safely and just in a calm, collected manner. So anyway, as I was saying, our birds left whole, our birds cut into 8 pieces, and our birds processed into boneless, skinless chicken breast. That's our middle son, doing an excellent job helping us. Those 3 categories: boneless, skinless chicken breast, whole birds left whole birds 8 pieces that are processor needs to equal the amount of birds that we brought in, and then there's further specialty cuts. So you can see there was no feed dispensers in the pen overnight. Initiate feed withdrawal 12 to 18 hours before taking the poultry to the processor, or before even processing poultry yourself. Initiate feed withdrawal 12 to 18 hours ahead. So we took feeders away from the chicken's pen on day 44 for this flock, but we never take away water. We always leave free choice access to good, fresh, clean water. So, and here's Mr. Twin Oaks Farm himself, and he makes all this happen. Made sure we had truck and trailer transportation ready to go, and had help from our 3 sons with that, and helps get us all up in time in the morning to get this done. So we're recording this at like 3:45 or 4 in the morning. We get on the road with our chickens by about 5 a.m. It's requested to have them at the processor about 6:30 to 7 a.m. in the morning, and the processor happens to be about an hour and a half away from where we live. So good job there. You just stay calm. You know, chickens, especially in this part of production, the chickens might have a tendency to overreact to what we're trying to do, but that doesn't mean that we as handlers have to overreact. We just stay calm and controlled, and if one bird evades us, you know, let it go, try again. But the fewer birds there are in the pen to catch, the generally kind of the more savvy we have to be at getting a hold of them, because they have more room to get away from us. There should be 295 chickens in the whole group. So before we wrap up the video, going to go over to the trailer and give you a look at how the crates are in there. This was a set of 3 birds that were just separated out of the flock, and they were out here, some of them, for about 10 days to recover strength and mobility, because they had leg weakness issues, and we wanted to try to successfully get them through production. So we did, but they had cohorts from over here jump the short wall to get to where, pardon me, to where they are. So let's take a look in the trailer. So this is how we end up with our crates in the trailer. So as long as the trailer is not moving, we have the doors open to make sure that there's airflow and ventilation in there. So actually going to come around this side here and take a look inside the front. So I told you the balance of the chickens that didn't fit in crates. Well, I'm sorry, y'all, we're not going to be able to see them, but we can maybe see, like, there's our youngest son loading one into there. So we didn't have enough lighting for you to actually see the birds inside the front of that trailer. But the birds that are being put in the front of the trailer are loose in the front of the trailer, and the ones in the back of the trailer are in the crates. So we only have enough crates to handle about 225 of the birds, and we did end up with 200. Trying to get the focus back, y'all. Thanks for bearing with me. So we did end up with 295 birds. So it should be about, we've ended up, as I said, putting 9. We'll try and get focus back. Thanks for bearing with me. So we did end up with about 9 in each crate. So 25 crates, 225 in crates, and that means there should be 70 in the front of the trailer. And I can hear, as they're catching, I'm hearing counting. So they're taking care of the counting so that we have an accurate count, and that, as I said, is important. So thanks for joining us at Twin Oaks Farm Poultry. This is what the last day of production looks like. If you're raising a flock of meat chickens that you are taking off-site to a processor, and ours are going to a USDA inspected processor. So the last thing that we have to do is catch, load, and transport the chickens. When we get to the processor, actually only 2 of us are going to the processor. My husband and I, the other 3 guys here, have work today to do. So it's been great to have their help, them willing to be up early and help us in the morning with this. But when we do get to the processor, we will have to also offload our crates, or at least be in attendance while a worker, an employee at the processor helps offload our crates, because they'll actually bring a skid steer out and we'll offload the crates onto pallets. And then the birds that are loose, we are very fortunate that our processor will let us borrow some crates there. So we'll actually, in the process of offloading the loose birds, put them into crates that belong to our processor. And so then we leave our crates there, and the birds are left there for processing. And then when the poultry is ready and we can get it from the processor, we also will probably pick up our crates at that time. We can stay later and wait for our birds to actually go into the processing line and bring our crates home. But on this occasion, we got to get back home. So we'll probably just leave the crates and go back to get them later when our poultry is ready. So thanks for joining us. Please subscribe to Twin Oaks Farm Poultry on YouTube if you haven't. Please feel free to put any questions or observations there in the comments and interact with our video. We hope you like it. We hope you'll give it a thumbs up. We hope that y'all have a great day, and we hope that all of your chicken dinners will always be winners. What number are you at, Lee? Do you know? What number was it? 49. Okay. So, about 20 or 21 to go. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.